Hello everyone, welcome to podcast 19 of the Hrudai Chetan Show. We bring you an inspiration conversation filled with power, confidence, passion, and purpose. Our guest today is Anita Rao, ma'am, a passionate advocate for wellness, grooming, and hygiene. With a decade long career as an international air hostess, ma'am transitioned into social impact, founding Sakriya by Anita, a platform dedicated to raising awareness about menstrual hygiene, education, and personal development. Today, Anita Rao, ma'am, shares her journey of breaking societal barriers, the power of education, and how she continues to create sustainable change in rural and urban communities. If you're looking for motivation, social responsibility insights, or ways to make a difference in your society, this podcast is for you. So, without any further delay, let's put our hands and welcome on the screen Anita Rao, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
Yes,
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm very, very excited to start off this podcast today. Right. So let's
Okay,
begin. So, if I
sure.
have to take you back to your childhood, then can you share a glimpse of your childhood and what was it like growing up?
Okay, my childhood, I'm Anita Rao, born and brought up in Bangalore. So, typical Bengaluru Hudgi. I am. Just like others, even I had a very middle class, conservative, very strict upbringing. Of course, I was privileged, and then I lived in a joint family with around 12 members. And I did study in a government school. That is because my best friend, my neighbor, she joined government school. So that is the reason without her, I could not go to any other school. So I also joined government school. So I had a very beautiful, beautiful childhood, I must say.
Amazing. So, what was your one memory that you can remember of, ma'am, till now? What was the laugh moment or the amazing wow moment in your life?
Okay, so that is again my childhood because I had a beautiful, very, very beautiful house, which was around 100 by 100, a vast area to play. Not like nowadays, we have very small houses. So earlier back then, we all used to play in the inside the house, in the house. So it was very big. I miss that house. I miss my neighbors, and then I miss all my friends today. I don't know where we are all scattered. So the beautiful memory, the last memory, long lasting memory is my house and my child.
Amazing, ma'am. So, were there any early experiences or role models that shaped your passion for social work?
No. Social work, no, there are no role models or something like that. Social work, those days, it was right from uh, childbirth, it used to be taught to us because at home we had elders giving it to others. So we have seen people giving it or taking care of the needy people in the society, like our grandparents or uncles, aunts. So that could be the reason for my social work.
Amazing. So now you had worked a decade-long career you had in international air hostess, right? So what was that and how did you live that kind of life?
See, being an air hostess, that too international air hostess, and then being a Kannada girl going there without any language. I didn't know even English, as I've said, because I studied in Kannada medium up to seventh standard. And after that, after seventh, I had to study English medium. So it was a very, very challenging job for me. And then I always had one ambition that what other people are doing, I didn't want to do it. For example, there are many engineers, there are many doctors, there are many lawyers. I didn't want to become one common professional. So I always wanted to become something very, very unique. So in my family, there are no other air hostess other than me. So leaving the country, leaving Bangalore city itself, and then being born to a conservative family was again challenging. Going to that place, it is a very tedious and very hectic job. Air hostess job is around 12 to 13 hours a day. long working hours, and then almost walking and walking in the airport. You must have seen the crew in the airport. So that was challenging, and English and local language of that particular country, all these things, it took a lot of time for me to get adjusted to that job. But that is the best job ever I have done so far. Till date, I dream, if I have to dream, the aeroplanes I dream, the destinations I've been to I dream, and then my friends I dream of them. So I love the job, and then that particular airline has given me everything. Today, if I'm talking confidently in English or serving the society confidently, and having that mercy towards other, all these things, it is because of that airline, that job.
Amazing. Your English is amazing, beautiful. So, did
Because
you?
I learned it.
Yes.
In a hard way, I have learned it because I didn't know the kind of sentences, how to frame sentences, all these things. I didn't know because I didn't go to English medium school. So
Yes.
I had to learn it, and that too, I'll tell you, the English accent is different. For
Yes.
Indians, we speak English accent different. Australians, Canadian, South Africans, or UK English, Irish English, or American English, all these things, the accent is entirely different. Then, when it comes to Southeast Asia or south part of the globe, we speak differently. Indian accent, Filipino accent, Chinese accent is different, Japanese accent is different, Philippines accent is different. So, all these things, I have actually worked with 63 different nationalities.
Mm.
And African English is different, the accent is different. So, all things made me with you in English for 10. That is because of this.
Amazing, ma'am. Beautiful. Good to hear that from you, ma'am. So, did you always have a strong sense of social responsibility, or did it develop later?
Like around 11 to 12 people at home. So those days, the concept was we didn't have breakfast routine. It is developed only recently. We used to all of us, we used to have lunch at around 12 to 12:30. So after that, whoever comes there, used to be very extra food kept for them. And
Mm.
we did not have a gate to close. Anybody could barge in, anybody could, any needy person or our relatives, anybody could come. So extra food was made for them, for the needy, whoever comes. So my grandfather and grandmother made sure that we serve the needy. We, the grandchildren, we give money, we give food, we give clothing. It is through our hands. So I
Mm.
think the childhood made me a very socially responsible person. It is because of my grandparents and my upbringing.
Right. So, how important do you think early education is in shaping a child's mindset and future?
It's a very good question, actually. See, education, I'm not talking about academics here.
Mm.
A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. No. Education, it can be our culture, it can be our system, or it can be our daily routine. That is also education. Education is giving back to the society. You have to teach the children at a very young age, saying that you have to serve the society. You have to do something for the society. You have to do something for the country.
Okay.
And in today's world, visual treats are better because readers are less and then viewers are more. So what I prefer is, at schools they have to do some dramas, skits, or visually they have to show our culture, the importance of serving the society, the importance of serving the nation. All these things should be inculcated at a
Yes.
very young age, instead of forcing them to become doctors, engineers, lawyers, or whatnot. So, strong root, strong upbringing always helps in a child's development.
So now, if we have to compare real life education and just education, how can you compare these two? How important and why is these two important and play a major role in one's life?
Real life education, see what happens at school in India, Indian education system. We have to talk about that. That is very important. There
Mhm.
is no scope for new things to include. For example, manufacturing, how iPhone is made,
Mm.
or how internet works. All of us, many of us, we don't know. I'm talking about
Yes.
government schools because I have studied in government school.
Mm.
So many things, new things we cannot add in the Indian education system. The same old 1909 education system we are still following. What my mother studied, my kids, they are also studying the same. So real life is something else, right?
Mm.
So Indian education system never teaches us that in case if you fail, how to get up and be positive and be confident, how to
Mm.
lead life.
Right.
So practically what is needed in our early life, confidence and tricks, how to lead life.
Mm.
And you have seen many examples, like very lately, many examples like if they cannot uh, pass 10th standard or second PUC, they harm themselves. The kids, they harm
Yes.
themselves, right? So
Right.
in fact, we have also spoken about it. So they think that 10th standard is or second PUC is the ultimate goal in their life. If they cannot succeed, they harm themselves.
Yes.
So there are n number of jobs around you. Why have to lose your life? Your parents are waiting for you. Your relatives are waiting for you. So why you have to lose your job? So that
Yes.
Indian education system doesn't teach till date. So maybe we will wait for the change.
Mm. Yeah. So we just need to understand that no, we are bought and we are here today because for a purpose in our life. We have to do something, we have to contribute something to this universe, to this society, and that's the reason we are here, and that's the reason we are growing today. Okay.
Correct.
So now, who you are today because of someone else, right? So did you have some coach or a mentor who supported you in this journey?
Not really, Hrudai. Not really. Whatever I'm doing all by myself, I think about many things all by myself, and there is no such mentor or anybody. Whatever I am today, it's by the grace, God's grace, and that's it.
Okay. So did you face any challenges as a child that later influenced your mission?
Yes, that is a major part in my life. As I said, I was a cabin crew, international cabin crew,
Mhm.
and as I said, I went to government school. I didn't know any English. So what happened is when I went to that particular country, there everybody spoke English. Nobody spoke Hindi or Kannada. In
Yes.
fact, even I didn't know Hindi also, because we South Indians, we hardly learn Hindi. Yeah.
Right.
So what happened is when I went, I had a British flatmate and Indian flatmate. So they used to think that I don't speak Hindi. They used to speak me as an Indian. They used to speak to me in Hindi, but I never spoke
Mhm.
to them in Hindi. And broken English, I used to reply, and they thought that I have attitude, even though I'm Indian. I'm not speaking in Hindi. So what happened was I told both of them my problem. I made them sit. I told them I don't know English. I don't know Hindi at all. So what you do is for 6 months, you speak to me in English, you speak to me in Hindi. I told the Indian. And to British, I told you speak to me only in English. So 6 months passed. I picked it up very, when you have to take care of yourself, survival of the fittest, you learn things quickly because you have to survive in that particular place with those people. So I learned within 6 months both Hindi, now I can speak Hindi slang, Delhi accent also, UP accent also, and Bombay accent
Great.
also I can speak. But that
Amazing.
was a major challenge because I didn't know anything. See, when you don't know anything, you observe things quickly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a challenge.
Amazing. So, looking back, is there a moment in your childhood that made you realize the importance of hygiene and well-being?
Not during my childhood. When I went abroad, I saw many countries, around 63 countries I have seen. So, in that, I realized India is the best. We
Okay.
have the best intelligent people, very hardworking people, but we lack awareness on many things. As NRN says, 40% of our youth, we don't have awareness on many things,
Yes.
and leave alone hygiene. So when I used to visit European countries or America or any other continent, I used to think that the same Indians who are working very hard here, and then they give importance to hygiene. They don't throw anything on the floor. They keep everything in their bag. They come home, they throw it in the bin.
Mm.
The same Indians, we don't do the same here.
Yeah.
What could be the reason? So who should I go and tell that keep your country clean? Elders? No, they don't listen to me. So I started thinking about doing something for my country. when I got back. So I got back, I got married, I went to America, kids happened. So now from past 5, 6 years, kids are grown up. So I thought of doing something to the society. What it could be hygiene.
Mm.
So I started going to nearby government schools, and then I started teaching them like why to wash hands, or why you have to take bath every day, why hygiene is important. There I spoke to the mothers. Then I got to know that we lack awareness on menstrual hygiene as well. From there, my journey started as a real social activist. My focus area is menstrual hygiene.
Amazing. Good to hear that, ma'am. So, what is hygiene according to you, ma'am? How do you define hygiene as?
Hygiene as for Indians, taking bath, washing hands, and then when you go out and come back, you don't enter the house directly. In those days, we used to have totti money. In Kannada, if we have to say, first we used to wash hands and then enter the house and change clothes and then sit.
Yes.
But because of the British rule, all these things started looking stupid.
Mm.
Even now, many things we practice, people say that this is malpractice and this is stupid, and people laugh at us. But it was only during Corona time, some some white person said, you have to wash your hands for 20 seconds. We followed that.
Mm.
But our Sanatana had already told us, before entering the house, you clean up and then you enter the house, right?
Yeah.
Those days, we never used to shake hands. We used to do namaste. So, no touching hands. And during Corona time, the whole world practiced that, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
So
everybody.
yes, our Sanatana practice is 40, 50, 60,000 year old. We still don't know who started it, correct?
Mm.
So hygiene is very important. So day to day, daily hygiene is this: keep yourself clean, and that's all. Have bath and wash hands before and after doing anything. So all these things. But menstrual hygiene alone, it's another subject. We may need another 1 hour to explain that, because we don't know what is menstruation, why it happens, and where it happens. There are about 355 million women and children that are menstruating. In that, half of us, we don't know why do we menstruate and where do we menstruate.
Mm.
I'm not talking about rural, I'm talking about urban.
Okay.
Urban educated women, 16% of them, they know, yes, we menstruate. Why? Reproduction is the main reason.
Mm.
But where it happens and what is menstrual hygiene, half of it, just 8%, they practice in urban areas. I'm not talking about rural.
Yes. Right. So this is real life education. So
Correct.
we need to bring this kind of life education to people, and that's when they actually know the logic behind it. So people are like, now there is no logic behind, people are just saying to follow it. I'm just following. I don't know why. So it's become like that now. So everything what we learn, there should be a logic behind why and what. We should be asking questions, and that's when now we know what actually is right or wrong. Right?
True. Logical thinking, analytical thinking. Yeah.
Yes. So how do you think that childhood struggles can be turned into strengths for personal growth?
Childhood struggle. It's a very good word you have chosen. Childhood struggle. I can give one more synonym for that: childhood hunger.
Hmm.
A person who's hungry, he will work to get food, correct?
Yes. Right.
Hunger can be anything apart from food. Hunger can be for knowledge, love, emotion, support.
Right.
A child with all these requirements, he will struggle very hard in life to become something, to
Hmm.
fulfill his hunger. That hunger again can be emotion, can be love, can be the importance, can be the acceptance by the society. So that person will be very, very confident. And let me tell you one more thing: government school children are the bravest, very confident children. They are very
Yeah,
street
I
smart,
agree. I completely
because,
agree.
yeah,
Yes.
because every day we used to struggle in school, because now you have benches at school.
Hmm.
Earlier, we did not have bench to sit. We had to sit on the floor. And some person would donate one bench to one class. And I used to make sure that I had to sit on the bench. For that, there was a struggle. And my teacher had done a simple rule. She had told, whoever gets first in this test, she gets to sit near the window. To get first rank, to sit near the window, I used to work hard.
Yes.
So childhood struggle made me a confident fighter, never give a personality, even in my today's life. So
Yes.
childhood struggle, childhood hunger is very important.
Hunger is one of the most important word that you gave, ma'am. Amazing. So, as you mentioned that government school are the people who now learned many new things there. See, now we have public schools and we have private schools also, right? There so much of attitude because we have everything there. Whatever we ask, we get it. We are not working hard. We just work hard for our results, but we don't see a real life struggle there. But in government schools, we face everything. We struggle everything. We learn everything and we do ourselves everything. So
Correct.
this is the main difference between the private school and government school. So
Correct.
that's what I understand, right? They have so much. Private schools have so much, but they don't utilize it. They think that no, everyone have. No, right? So few people doesn't have that, but they utilize how much ever they have.
Correct.
Amazing. So now, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self?
Actually, there's no advice. I was a very, very obedient child. I have followed all the life rule book point by point. I was a very obedient daughter. No advice as such. I did very well. I didn't do anything wrong as such. So maybe that is paying me off.
Great. So how does your childhood influence the way you mentor and educate others today?
See, my childhood, as I said, I had a very strong
Yes.
childhood, very, very strong upbringing. That is positive upbringing. What
Mm,
I'm saying is, don't lie, or don't cheat, or
mm,
don't be harsh to others. Be empathetic, and then try to walk in their life. All these things every day. I used to hear this. Not only me, all my cousins, all of us, we used to hear this, and then we didn't go to such extent that we did something wrong, embarrassing us, the parents, all these things. But we had a very understanding childhood. At school, what used to happen, like public schools, we also have a photo session, right?
yes.
So in government schools, even in those days, they used to give uniform. But stitching charges, no. Government schools children, they are from very needy background, so they never used to have money to even stitch uniforms. So they, on that particular day, they never used to come to school because they had to sit for the photo with torn blouse or skirt. As I said, I had a very positive, nice upbringing. I used to get uniform stitched, 2 or 3 uniforms stitched. So what I used to do is, I would give my uniform to that girl and make her sit for the photo.
Mm,
This was the understanding. This is, I never realized that, yes, this is my responsibility because I was so young. She
mm,
does not have, I have it, share it.
yes.
So this was the lesson. She didn't bring her dabba, bring her home, give her food.
Mm,
I never realized that she is needy. She does not have, for that moment, she does not have, let her eat. For that moment, she does not have uniform, let her wear, let her sit next to me for the photo. That's all we knew. And this was the practice. And this is not the philanthropy, or this is not something big for us. It was daily routine. You see somebody in need, go and help. I
mm,
think that helped me now. So society's pain is my pain.
absolutely.
So that is what I am following that. So there was no special struggle or course given to us, like you have to serve the society. No, if there is a need, if you can go there, help. That's all.
Yeah. It just means that no, we have to have a pure understanding with each other.
Correct. Understanding and empathetic nature is very
Mm,
important, and adjusting is very important.
yes.
See, public school kids, they don't adjust quickly.
Mm,
So government school, as I said, we have to adjust for everything. For a book, we had to adjust because somebody used to donate the book, somebody used to donate the pencil. For me, I have to get it. I have to get it. Go and fight for that pencil and get it. So
mm,
when we come out in the society, it becomes very easy for us to get adjusted to things. But
Yeah.
private school, public school kids, what they do, they get depressed if they don't get anything.
Mm.
But we are so used to depression also. We are so used to not getting things also.
Yes.
So we never used to get depressed. We never used to give up. So the same practice, I think it is embodied in my mind, or rather all the government school kids. So fight, never give up.
Great. So, what initiatives do you think should be introduced in schools to help children become more aware of hygiene and social responsibility? You mentioned few, so let's go in depth and look where we can put this knowledge into schools.
See, nowadays we have stopped reading, correct?
Hmm.
So as I said, readers are less now, viewers are more.
Yes.
So I used to read Panchatantra and Chandamama. How many kids read Panchatantra today? That book itself is, almost vanishing.
Yeah.
Correct. So in our school, there used to be one period from 4:30 to 5 o'clock, only morals,
Okay.
singing and telling moral stories.
Hmm.
And that should be, I think, added in schools as soon as possible. Panchatantra teachers should tell the stories, or teachers should show the videos of Panchatantra at schools, so that the moral is taught to them right from young age. So
Hmm.
every day when you're listening that don't smoke, don't drink, or don't lie, don't do drugs, every day, or don't litter, use dustbin, don't spit on the road, or don't litter on the road, all these things, when every day they are seeing, they are listening, definitely that can bring in the change, right?
Yes. Absolutely. So, no, we know everything, what we need to do, what we don't need to do. The thing is, even though we know, we just do it. We want to experience that what will happen next.
Correct, the curiosity in me.
Yes, right. So, why do you think menstruation is still a taboo topic in many parts of society?
Yes, across the globe, yes, this was the pandemic earlier before Corona. So
Mhm.
there are many developing countries, or you can say poor countries, they still lack awareness on menstruation itself. So forget about taboo, the myth, or whatever around it. We still don't know, as I said, anything about menstruation. Even our schools doesn't teach anything in depth. Eighth or ninth standard, we do have a subject. We do have
Yes.
biology subject. We have a small topic on menstruation, which I think reproduction chapter, right? Yeah. So very little no details are given,
I provided.
and teachers, they don't explain. Boys are sent to some other class, and then only it is explained to girls. All these things should stop. It is just not only in India, it is there in other countries also. I really don't know what is that such a secret topic or a myth or taboo. I don't understand. But slowly, boys are understanding about menstruation. I did do a social experiment on Church Street. How much he knows about periods. So many boys, they were openly saying that yes, of course we don't know anything, because you women don't say anything about periods. So I think slowly it will change. Another 5 to 10 years, it will. We are trying to normalize periods. So let us see. Hopefully.
So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about menstruation?
They're very funny actually. If you eat a meal cooked by a menstruating lady, you will be born as a dog in your next life. That is one. Second thing, she cannot touch the pickle bottle. Pickle gets spoiled. And she cannot see elders' face early in the morning. She cannot go to religious places for praying. All these things. There are so many things, but scientifically, it is right also. Why she cannot go to religious places? Because those days religious places were not next to your house. It was like 10 to 15 kilometers, 50 kilometers away, right on top of the hill.
Mhm.
So a lady, being a lady, very sensitive, or she cannot, during menstruation she gets her back pain and leg pain, all these things will be
Mhm.
happening. So she could not go to religious places. So
Mhm.
this, what we did, we converted conveniently into a myth or a taboo.
So, ma'am, here I want to ask you this question, right? So, now, when they get this periods, right? So, when women get this periods, is it true that no, they shouldn't touch anything at that moment?
No. It is not true. It is false. I'll tell you a small story. Why we should not touch anything. You must have seen ladies in your village or in your relative's house. They sit outside 3 days in a separate
Mm.
room. Correct?
Yes.
So they
Yes.
don't touch anything. Food is served to them. All these things happens. So the sorry, the reason is, in those days, I'm talking about some 50, 60,000 years ago, when this practice was a normal practice. The elder lady of the house, she knew what happens during periods, correct? We feel like vomiting, stomach ache, backache. So those days also there were joint families with n number of people at home. So there used to be lot of work for the ladies of the house. One used to cook, one used to clean the house, one used to draw water from the well, one used to do the vessels and all these things. So when a lady is in pain, can she do all these work? She cannot. So she was told to rest in one small room. This was the main reason. Later, what they added, some masalas were added to this practice, and they said, yes, it is wrong, it is unhealthy, it's a disease if she is bleeding. So she should not touch anything, we should not see her face. Later, after many years of this practice, this malpractice came into picture. And that we continued. For all these years that we continued. And I'll tell you, even now, there are many houses. Even when I was young, when I got my periods, I sat outside. Food was given to me. I didn't do anything. I rested very well. The main purpose of sitting alone or sitting in some other room, touching anything, is you don't have to work. You cannot work when you're in pain. This was very plain and simple. Even now, I know many families, they practice this, which is good for women. But we, modern women, we thought that this is a malpractice. So we don't want to sit aside. We want to work. So when, even in pain, we are doing the household chores, correct? So we think that it's a malpractice, but it is the best practice to sit and rest.
Great. So when they get periods also, they don't go to temples.
Correct.
Yeah. So I had this question. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being open and sharing this answer.
You must know, all the boys must know why we didn't go to any religious places, because religious places were away from where we stayed. So that was the reason. Pregnant ladies and women with periods, they could not go because they had to climb the hill. That was the only reason.
So have you faced resistance while spreading awareness, and how did you handle it?
Of course, nobody wants to talk about it. At least in urban areas, yes, it is okay. Nowadays, it is, they listen to it, and then many people, they call me to talk about menstruation and menstrual hygiene. But rural, yes, it is very difficult for me to convince them to, sit and listen to the topic. But of course, with 5 years experience, now I handle in a very different way, because as soon as I enter the room, I will not start with menstruation, because people still think that it's a disease. I have to take them into my confidence. I have to beat around the bush. I have to joke around a little bit. Then I have to come to the topic of menstruation, then menstrual hygiene, then PCOD, PCOS, all these things. Because I'm not a doctor, I cannot scientifically explain to them. How much ever I know, how much ever knowledge I have, I will share it. And that information, that knowledge should not be wrong also. So I have to be very, very careful in what I'm talking. All these things, yes, I do handle it. It is very sensitive, and people are very sensitive about it. It's a struggle, but it's okay. We have to struggle to bring the change, right?
Yes, great. So tell us about this Sakriya period path Abhiyan K2K initiative that you took. What inspired it? I want to
Okay.
know.
Yes. Sakriya period part Abhiyan K2K is Kashmir to Kanyakumari. This was done during COVID. Yeah, we could not go to fields to explain menstrual hygiene, because that time it was crucial. Pads were not available. Food was not available. Forget about pads. So what I did was, I did the video of 1 hour duration in Kannada, Hindi, and English. People who could not understand these three languages, I have put all possible Indian languages subtitles. And people who could not read and write, I have put images. People who cannot see, it is in braille. People who cannot hear, it is in sign language. This video talks everything about A to Z about periods, and PCOD, PCOS, and menstrual hygiene management. So after the video got ready, I contacted all the NGOs who are working in this field, in menstruation and menstrual hygiene field, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. We decided one day, one time to play this video in all states at a time. So this was very, very successful, and then it grabbed the Kalam Book of World Records record also. So after doing that K2K, I decided to do UT. All why not UT? All union territories. So again, I contacted all the NGOs who are placed in our union territories, and that also we did the same thing. One day, one time, all union territories, and second time also I grabbed the record for Abdul Kalam Book of
Wow,
Records.
beautiful. Congratulations, ma'am, for that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Amazing. So, how has your work with menstruation hygiene impacted rural and urban communities?
I have see impacted. Yes, impact. It is a little difficult for me to explain because it is just in the first step. We are just talking about menstruation, why, how, where, etc., etc. Why menstrual hygiene is important, and we're talking about cervical cancer, breast cancer, etc., etc. See, I have worked right from Bangalore Central Prison to all the government schools, most of the government schools, I can say, government schools, colleges, and nearby villages, and all that. So when we talk about menstrual hygiene, why it is important, and about 10 lakh people in India die due to cervical cancer, and how menstrual hygiene is related to kidney, urinary tract infection, kidney diseases, all these things, when we explain, it's a new subjects for them. So impact, I don't know. It is still in the initial stage. We have to work very hard to bring in that impact, what you are asking about.
So, what role do men and boys play in supporting menstrual hygiene awareness?
Uh, in today's world, maybe I can say 5 to 10%. As I said, men, they really want to know what is menstrual hygiene. But we women, we are very shy, very embarrassed to talk about menstruation publicly. Even now, we can see whisper pad is given in black color plastic cover. Have you seen that?
No.
When you go to a shop, when a girl goes to a shop and she buys whisper pad, so that is wrapped in a black paper. So men, they don't want to do that. And my latest initiative is I have installed pad vending machines in public transport, that is autos. So all the auto drivers, I ask them, like, in case, yes, if you see pad vending machines in autos, it is installed by me. My main aim is to provide pads even the girls while they are traveling in auto or public transport. To begin with, I have installed in autos now. So I have made sure that the auto driver, when it gets over the pad vending machine, the pad gets over in the pad vending machine, he will go to the medical shop, he will refill it. So whoever the auto driver has agreed, I have installed pad vending machine in their autos.
Great,
so of course, men, they don't mind. They want to know more about it. What is periods? Why? Yeah, all these things they want to know, but we are not saying openly. We are shy. That's all.
Yeah. We just know they just, when they ask what happened, they just close up it. And nothing, just.
Correct. Yeah.
Then boys will get a doubt something has happened. And then we
Curious.
have to only understand.
Correct.
So, what steps can schools take to normalize conversations about menstruation?
To normalize, first we have to arrange a session for both boys and girls. We should not divide them. Today, this is not your class, this is not your topic, go and sit in some other room. No. Boys also should be there, girls should be there. How we talk about reproduction, menstruation also topic also should be discussed equally among both. That is how we can normalize periods.
So, how can parents help their daughters feel confident about their periods?
Parents nowadays, the young parents, yes, of course, they are quite educated. They are educating girls at home, and then number of videos are there on YouTube. Like, she can go and have a look, like what happens, why it happens, what happens for the first time, and at what age the girl should be ready to receive her first periods. All these things, the information is there on YouTube. So mothers, without getting embarrassed, or even the father should, in fact, actually, if she has a brother, he also should know about periods. So all of them can sit and discuss at home together, and just to give her that confidence, for her especially, because for any girl, first time period means she'll get scared, like blood and all that. So just to give her confidence and to be with her, they can talk to her about it normally.
Great. So, what's your vision for menstrual health awareness in the next 10 years?
10 years is a very long period. So my next 1 year plan is to create awareness on how plastic pads are damaging the environment. So I would like to promote menstrual cups. I would love to tell people or create awareness on menstrual cups, like how good it is, and then why we should not use plastic pads anymore. As soon as possible, we must switch over to menstrual cups. That is my main for at least 1 year. 10 years, I don't know. No plans for 10 years.
And 10 years, we can see everything now in the high position because of you, ma'am.
Thank
Advance
you. Thank you.
congratulations. That has to. Yeah, we are with you, ma'am, always.
Thank you. And all the
So,
very best for you also. You called me
thank you
here
so
and
much.
it was very nice, interesting questions you asked. I must admit that you have framed very good questions. And in fact, nobody has asked me such questions. So you took me to my childhood and then my family journey and my social activist journey, all that you covered within half an hour. Thank you so much and
Thank you
all the
so
very
much.
best. My support is always with you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
So, now our last part will be rapid questions and it will be amazing.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, let's start. One myth about menstruation that must be busted.
One myth, it is not a disease.
The most memorable moment from your Sakriya by Anita initiative.
Every day, every day when I go to serve the people, especially the central prison inmates, they have become my friends now. They miss me if I don't go there.
One thing every girl should know about periods.
It is normal.
What
Because of that, you don't have to skip your sports or exam or life. Sunita Williams, remember, she's also a woman. She was there in space for 9 months. So what is stopping you?
what motivates you to keep going despite challenges?
I motivate myself. I always think that you should love yourself, you should motivate yourself. Self love, self motivation is very, very important.
What's one goal you are currently working on?
One goal is I'm redoing a 1938 old government school. It is in a bad shape. So that should get finished. That is my goal. Every day I'm thinking about that. Lot of work, lot of funding, and all these things are there. So that is my ultimate immediate goal, which has to be completed.
Great. So, what is one motivation quote that you live by every day?
Be empathetic.
Amazing, beautiful. This is it.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, man. It was such an amazing, beautiful conversation with you. I learned many new things and I discovered many new things to say honestly. And audience, if you did, then go ahead in the comment box and just give a message what actually you learned so that I can share your message to ma'am and we both are happy, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much, ma'am. How was it for you?
It was really nice, and I tell you to continue the same way what you're doing. You're also serving the society in your own way, and give importance to your education. Respect your parents, and all the viewers, don't forget to follow Anita in Samachara on Instagram and YouTube. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you so much. So, audience, let's meet on our next podcast. So, thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you so much.
Thank you.